Celtics take game 2. It wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. 105-98, and let me tell you, it was a battle from start to finish. The Celtics did not look good in the first half, but they started to regroup themselves a little bit towards halftime, and the second half was really where they took off. Jayson Tatum, in one of his worst games, had 1 rebound away from a triple-double. We're going to break down stats here from the Celtics versus the Mavericks game 2, but we also want to touch on Kristaps Porzingis. As of right now, we are filming this directly after the game ended. We have not heard from any Celtics players or coaches. We do not know how Kristaps Porzingis is, but there was a play that is leaving a lot of Celtics fans a little bit worried. We're going to talk about that in just a few moments. First things first, thank you to every single one of you guys that helped us reach 33,000 in Game 2. Now we're on the journey to reach 34,000. Can we get to 35,000 by Game 3? Let's see what we can do. Go on ahead and hit that sub button for the latest on Kristaps Porzingis and your Boston Celtics. All right, let's talk about what KP did. He had a phenomenal game once more, double-digit scoring. He came in. He looked a little bit slow, not as electric as he did in Game 1, but you got to think the adrenaline for him coming back for his first NBA Finals game. He played phenomenal in Game 1. He played incredible in Game 2. But then one play late in the fourth quarter, which Porzingis did need to be in the ballgame at this point because the Mavericks starting to come back and really clench down on that lead. But here's what Brian Robb said about the Kristaps Porzingis play that led to a couple of Boston Celtics fans holding their breath, saying, "Oh no." Porzingis appeared to hurt his leg with 6:21 remaining in the fourth quarter after contesting a PJ Washington drive to the hoop. Porzingis remained in the game for the next 2 minutes, but was moving gingerly on both ends of the court. Ultimately, Joe Mazzulla called timeout with 4:40 remaining in the game after Daniel Gafford beat Porzingis up the floor for an open dunk at the rim. Al Horford then replaced Porzingis in the game following the timeout. So Mazzulla took him out of the ballgame. We didn't see anything that would lead to him retweaking his calf. We do not know anything. Like I said, we are making this video the moment the Boston Celtics beat the Mavericks. Tomorrow morning, we'll have more of an update on whether or not Kristaps Porzingis is okay. But you have to take account that the reason why he's coming off the bench is because he said earlier today he was scared about his recovery because it was taking longer than expected. And he played phenomenal in Game 1, but he didn't play as many minutes as he typically does. Even tonight, he only played 13 minutes by halftime, so they're still being very gingerly, like Brian Robb said, of taking the Kristaps Porzingis approach. When he did play Smitty, 12 points, 4 rebounds, this is perfect. This is exactly what we could need from KP. Maybe throw in a 3, that would make it a little better on the offensive front. But when that play happened in the fourth quarter, I think you and I both kind of took our deep breath and were like, come on, man.
Yeah, there was a play, that play where he ends up falling to the ground and he gets up kind of slow. And then you just see for the next couple of possessions, he's just moving a little bit slower out there than he had been throughout Game 1 and to that point in Game 2. And my nervousness with this is just the fact that it's such a high risk for re-aggravation, especially for a player with Kristaps Porzingis' injury history. I'm wary of what's going to happen as far as the updates that we'll get tomorrow. Like, I don't know if he'll be playing in Game 3. Do I think that it wasn't as bad of an aggravation as the initial injury against Miami? Of course. He wasn't hobbling. He wasn't hopping on one foot. He didn't need to be helped to the locker room or anything. He just went to the bench, and Boston ended up taking the game from there. But, like you mentioned, they don't win this game tonight without Kristaps Porzingis.
No, they don't.
He finds the mismatches. He shoots over defenders, and he's been physical around the high post.
And we saw no indication that he did re-aggravate anything. We just saw a play that made us hold our breath, and it definitely was that final moment where we're like, Mazzulla, get him out. But we will have more updates on Kristaps Porzingis moving forward. We got to talk about the real stars here of tonight's game. And I do want to talk about that in just a few moments. But I just want to make sure the Celtics Nation has Kristaps Porzingis' back moving forward. Show some love to Kristaps Porzingis because boy, oh boy, does this man deserve it. Type KP in the comments if you guys just want him to make a full recovery. Continuing on as well because we know he's still not 100%. Even Kristaps Porzingis said it. But he's playing because he wants to help Boston win in any way he can.
And we need him.
Type KP in the comments. All right, real quick, let me tell you guys about our sponsor here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm talking about PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America with over 5 million active users right now. I played it here tonight, which is super fun, and it's not just NBA. You guys can also take advantage of esports. You can take advantage of WNBA, MLB. You got the NHL. You've also got a ton of other sports that are going on right now if you guys do want to join in. So here was my prize picks tonight. I did have a 5-pick. Tatum, I had having more than 7.5 3-pointers attempted. He shot 7. Luka Dončić had 22 rebounds and assists. That's great. Jrue Holiday had 3 assists, so I had the more. Unfortunate. Daniel Gafford did have 11 points, so that one's good as well. But Kyrie Irving, more than 19 field goals attempted. He had 18. I was this close to winning, man, but this is why you test your skills. Go on ahead and make your prize picks right now at prizepicks.com/CLNS, or go on ahead and download the app, PrizePicks, and just pick more or less. But make sure, whether you go to the link, prizepicks.com/CLNS, or download the app, use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less, I promise. It is that easy to watch yourself win some real money in real time. Can we talk about the man of the hour, Jrue Holiday? I said this man was my X factor, and what's so funny is I wasn't even talking about offense. I was talking about the defense that he needs to play on Kyrie Irving, which he did phenomenal. We'll talk about that in a minute. 26 points, 11 rebounds, and let me tell you, while he does clean the glass quite efficiently for a guard, his skills more so lie in the assist column. And I'm okay with the three assists because most of these rebounds fell on the offensive side as well.
Hustle board.
He was dominant when it came to crashing the board constantly. That is a huge reason why this score is what it is. Despite his 26 points, it was the offensive aggressiveness that just blew me away, Smitty.
Agreed. And Jrue Holiday, you see the stat line on him, right? 11 of 14 from the field. This isn't like some Jrue Holiday unconscious shooting night where he just can't miss. He was just in the right place at the right time, having nice cuts to the basket when Tatum faces double team, finding himself in the corner wide open. These were easy looks from Jrue Holiday, and he's so crafty around the rim. There were times when he would catch it in the corner, and he would just drive baseline and then find a way, tiptoeing around defenders, and put it up and in. This wasn't some unconscious night by Jrue Holiday. No. He just did the right thing. He made the right basketball plays, and he is the reason that Boston won tonight.
He is. It's so funny because I saw this question about who's your NBA Finals MVP through 2 games. Just, talking about what they've done so far. And it's so funny because I talked about this, about how the Celtics are just better than the Mavericks when it comes to the stat sheet and it comes to the roster, because you asked me, Game 1, Jaylen Brown, NBA Finals MVP.
Yep.
You asked me Game 2, I say Jrue Holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see who steps up here in Game 3 because, like we said, my X factor for the game was Holiday on defense. I wasn't even thinking about what he can do on offense.
And look what he did to Kyrie.
And then, boom, Kyrie Irving. 12 points in Game 1, 16 points in Game 2, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 38% from the field. You can thank.
Didn't hit a 3 again.
You can thank Jrue Holiday for that. He went 0 for 5 in Game 1. He went 0 for 3. He's now 0 for 8 in the NBA playoffs. And I also have this really cool stat line here that Holiday, 25 points and 10 rebounds, most in playoffs since April 18th of 2018. This is why Brad Stevens signs him to a 4-year contract extension.
Yep.
Because he's still at his peak. Let's talk about another peak here because I want to talk about Jayson Tatum.
Who also didn't shoot the ball well tonight.
Who has been getting a lot of
flack.
Yes. From the media, even from Jason Kidd saying Jaylen Brown is Boston Celtics best player. That's no shade. That's no shade. But the positives is the court vision.
Yep.
It is the facilitating. It's the orchestrating. Jayson Tatum continued to draw in double-team defenders and do what he did. He was 1 board away. Not to mention, he got that 10th board, but it was a foul on Derrick White. So you're gonna read about this in the media tomorrow. I'll call it right now. This is why you guys subscribe to Celtics Today by Chat Sports, because we tell you the truth. They're going to call Jayson Tatum a liability. They're going to say Jayson Tatum had the worst shooting game of his career, which you can tell it was a terrible shooting game of the entire career.
Might have been the worst shooting
But if you want to look deeper, into what he did for the Celtics. You look at the 12 assists and the 9 boards.
Yeah, phenomenal night from Jayson Tatum, aside from shooting, obviously. Listen, we're not going to say Jayson Tatum's been lights out because he hasn't been pretty much all postseason, right? But he's doing the things that he can to help this team win. And for anybody who thinks out there that, oh, he's got to be the alpha, he doesn't. They're up 2-0 in the finals. They're up 2-0 in the finals.
Joe Mazzulla, speaking with the media right now, says Joe Mazzulla on Jayson Tatum's playmaking. Coming into a game, it's sort of like a puzzle. He's done a great job learning how to solve that puzzle. Joe Mazzulla, once again, with a pretty candid type of response. He's gonna find some cryptic message. Yeah. Why can't you just say he had a hell of a game? Like, why can't you just? Why you gotta make an analogy? It's
that's our Joe.
Jayson Tatum. It's like building a snowman. You can't find the carrot for the nose. It's kind of like, come on, man. All right, so. Anyways, let's talk about Jaylen Brown here because this is, according to Jason Kidd, the best player on the Boston Celtics roster. And I don't disagree, but I don't agree with it because I do think the Celtics have so many weapons. But Jaylen Brown tonight, the defense on Luka.
Chef's kiss.
The defense on Luka.
Now, when you look at Luka's line, yes, he had a massive game, right? And what did we say before the series, Allie?
You will not stop Luka. You can contain him.
He's going to get these stats.
You can contain him.
But he also starts this game, I believe, 9 of 13 at least from the field. Mm-hmm. At least 9 of 13. So he ends the game 3 for 8, and he was, 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter?
1 for 6.
Jaylen Brown is a big reason for
He was actually 0 for 4. 0 for 4 with 4:30 left to go in the fourth. In a very crucial fourth.
I mean, shout out Jaylen Brown for the play that he's had on both sides of the floor. Just based on the stats and the defense that he's played so far, I would still probably say that he is the Finals MVP as of right now.
I was about to say that.
My bad. I stole it. My bad.
Gosh dang it. Great minds think alike.
I had a take, but Jaylen Brown stole it. Another 3-steal, 3-block game for Jaylen Brown. He actually might have had that fourth one down the stretch where they call all they've been talking about is this push in the back that Jaylen Brown had.
You can't put a hand on somebody's back anymore without being a foul.
Well, you can't do that. But hey, you know who else hit big shots tonight, though? Derrick White. Oh, my goodness. Like, whenever the Celtics needed a basket, whenever the Mavs were making their run, whenever they were punching the Celtics in the mouth, Derrick White was there with a 3-ball.
And I know it looks pretty bad because he took 10 3-balls here and only
40%'s fine.
But even 4 of them made it. But those 4 came in the most clutch moments in the fourth quarter. When I tell you, I love the narrative of who's the better duo, Brown and Tatum or Luka and Kyrie. What about Holiday and White?
Yeah.
That's a duo that doesn't get enough credit. And let me tell you, they are continuously picking up pieces of the puzzle for the Boston Celtics.
And shout out one more backcourt member tonight. He did it on both ends. Peyton Pritchard, that 3-ball to end the third quarter. And the defense that he played on Luka Dončić in the fourth. Unbelievable.
Joe Mazzulla talking about Peyton Pritchard saying his half-court shot was the play of the game. Because we talked about how it brought momentum into a very, very intense fourth quarter. Can I also give a really quick injury update?
Oh, we
do have an injury update on Kristaps Porzingis. He is good.
Okay.
There is zero concern about Porzingis' calf. He's good.
Get those KPs in the comments.
Mazzulla was asked if Porzingis re-aggravated his calf, and his concern level said 0. Good. He's good. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more of an actual report tomorrow morning once they really reevaluate Porzingis. But so you guys do not lose sleep tonight. One more time. Porzingis is good.
Let's go.
Joe Mazzulla said there is zero concern for a re-aggravated calf. All right, let's break down the stats here because let me tell you, this was a horrible shooting night for the Boston Celtics.
But they still found a way.
To win.
That is championship DNA right there. The fact that the number one thing that the Celtics have used to beat teams this season is the 3-ball. And tonight, it wasn't falling. They still took 40, and they come out with the win. 25% from downtown doesn't matter. They found a way to win on the defensive end and taking it to the basket late.
I want to talk about the three-point shooting because this has been really tough for Smitty and I to kind of grasp here is that when the Celtics don't shoot the 3 well, they tend to lose these ball games. They tend to crumble because it feels like they lost their identity when it comes to offense. But I want to talk about how they hit the 3s that mattered late in the game, and they also found more ways to attack the rim. Jayson Tatum came out of his shell in the third quarter, continuously attacked the rim. And I loved that. I love it they found a little bit extra around the three-point line.
Now, to be fair,
yes.
Dallas didn't shoot well from three either.
No.
And that's what it's going to come down to. The Celtics shot more threes. They shot a higher percentage. It wasn't by much, but it matters. It just matters at the end of the day. You got out-rebounded, but guess what? You hit more shots. You hit more high percentage shots. Maybe you got more free throws, but I don't even know how close that was. It was probably pretty close considering the way that Tony Brothers was officiating this game.
And what's funny is that we actually said that anytime you out-rebound the Mavericks, you will win, and they did not at all.
Multiple things that the Celtics would think
out-rebound the Mavericks
they need
tonight.
to do to win basketball games. They didn't do either, rebounding and hitting a ton of threes. They still came out with a dub. Shout out to the C's, man.
It was a tough win, and this is what it takes to win the NBA Finals, is having that tough win. So, nonetheless, one more time here, Joe Mazzulla says there is zero concern for an re-aggravation to Kristaps Porzingis' calf, and he's good. We'll have more of a report tomorrow morning. This is why you guys subscribe to Celtics Today by Chat Sports. But one more question before we let you go.
I want to see what the Celtics fans think about Jayson Tatum through 2 games.
Okay. Type W for well, type B for bad. Do you think Jayson Tatum played well? He played well. Or do you think he played bad? Do you think
through 2 games?
Through 2 games.
Through 2 games now. Do you think Jayson Tatum has played well or bad in this NBA Finals?
Beautiful. All right. Well, in the meantime, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. We're going to do a video tomorrow morning about more on Kristaps Porzingis and why we're just a little bit worried about moving into Game 3. Even though Joe Mazzulla said there's no concern for re-aggravation, I'm intrigued to see what his role will look like in Game 3 as the Boston Celtics are now 2-0 over the Dallas Mavericks. 2 more to go until Banner 18. Hit that sub button and join our journey.